blender. We got a whole ass panel tonight, guys.
Whole
So
panel.
I'm gonna let Brandon go first
Hey, swear to
because
go, bro.
it's a good day. It's a good day for Dems, for lefts, and you're going to be our resident left guy today because we don't got Andy. Andy might show up later to laugh at us, but we've got you guys today. So how are we feeling with Mom Donnie?
Uh,
All right. I mean, I like the guy, but the thing is, I don't know much about him. I don't. I hear his policies, but he's not. Well, like most people who promise the world, they don't give explanations how we're going to get there usually. Um, or maybe he did, but I didn't find it good enough.
so
Um,
do you,
like I
okay.
get Bernie Sanders is backing him, but the thing is that at the end of the day, that doesn't make him Bernie Sanders. That doesn't
Right.
mean he has a plan. That doesn't mean he has his ducks in a row and he knows what he's going to do next.
I mean, you could
Um,
argue even Bernie Sanders is no longer really Bernie Sanders.
well, I mean, he's just really no longer relevant in my opinion.
That
Like
too.
He isn't.
he
He isn't.
like he had great ideas. He basically, like I voted for him. I did. I mean, I wrote him on both
I think
ballots.
most of us did.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
And
We're
like
all Bernie Bros.
I'm glad to hear that, bro, because I wouldn't think most people in this chat would agree with somebody like Bernie Sanders. But the thing is that no, like Bernie had a good plan. He was on a roll. He could have won that election. I think he could have. I think he could have beat Trump.
he could have.
Um, but
Yeah,
the
he
thing
could have. That's
is,
why they
well,
screwed him over.
that's exactly why. Yeah, that's exactly why. I mean, here in America, we still run off the Cold War fear, the Red Terror, all that shit, and the Americans fail to realize the majority of the countries in this world that have a stronger dollar than us are all socialist countries. Like look at England, stronger dollar, socialism. The EU, most of it has great social programs. I mean, we're not going to get into Eastern Europe. I wouldn't really mess with that. But like, you know, the majority of Europe is socialist. Nobody calls them commies. But the moment someone comes here with an idea of trying to do something different or socialized programs for the people here, but also having an option of private pay, they instantly shit their bed. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, what it comes down to, I'd like to hear more from the guy. I'd like more info on what he plans to do. But also, it doesn't affect me. I'm here in West Virginia. Like New Yorkers, we get to see what happens to the New Yorkers, and I really, I don't like them anyways.
So to give you a little bit of insight on, because I prepared to talk about Mom Donnie, so I
Yeah.
did.
No,
I did.
I was actually gonna say like one of the main things that he was pushing that he's gonna use to, for example, do like the free bus system is he was gonna
I'm so. Hey, what was the last thing you said?
A free bus system.
Okay.
like one of the things that he said he was going to do in order to do the free bus system was that top 1% of people that live in New York currently, he's going to raise their taxes by 2%. Now, hearing the number 2%, that doesn't really sound like a whole lot, but if you think about it, the top 1% of people that live in New York City as of right now are already paying 52% on their taxes. So, if they're making $1 million one year, right? Now you have to take out all of those taxes that they're paying, and they're not even taking home a half mil. They're taking home maybe 450.
Less than half.
Yeah,
46.
maybe 450 on a good day. So now with taking that additional 2%, you're now taking another $20,000 away from them.
and,
So
and the that's what Mom Donnie wants. Mom Donnie's policies like rent freezing, subsidized housing, free bus system that also is attached to renovating the bus that is going to be free. His plan is to impose a 2% tax on the entire city, which is a lot of money when you're taxing the 1%. So that's his plan.
Well,
If that gives you a little bit of an insight. I don't want to give an opinion before I talk, so that's his plan.
well, in my opinion, in said case, raising 2%. All right, I can understand. I wouldn't like because the top 1% is a very, to be honest, it's not a very high number. Like
It's a lot. It's a lot of
top
people.
1%, top 1% is about $400,000.
No,
Like-
no, no, no. I'm talking about like the people in the top 1%. The millionaires
I'm
and
saying.
billionaires, the business owners.
That is what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
people who earn about 450K are in the top 1%, whether they know or not.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm assuming there's going to be like a tiered tax system in said case. I mean, I don't.
I think it was just a straight 2%. Unless he has an addendum to the policies that he has online right now, it was just a flat 2% raise on
It
everybody.
was just a flat 2% raise.
Yeah,
So,
well, the way I see it
His
is this,
rhetoric,
is like,
his rhetoric was that he was focusing on the wealthier white neighborhoods, but it's just going to be across the board.
well, either way, the way I see it is if you're making that much money, I mean, I'm sorry, but
Do you already know how much they are taxed?
Like it actually
just-
said, like I'm actually reading up something right here. It's saying
The New York
the
state
first-
tax currently, I think, is like 10 or 11%. Like
Yeah.
it's a high ass number.
Yes, it's already
Yep.
high.
And then he's also, and the other thing is that I'm reading up here right now. They're estimating that within the first year of the free bus system, it would cost taxpayers between 600 to 800 million.
hey, man, sometimes you got to dream big. I mean, I really, at the end of the day, when I look at it, I just, like I said, like you said, I don't see like a solid plan in place.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of
I-
my issue. And
I
like my
agree.
issue with Mandani is that, I mean, it's nothing against his race. It's nothing against any of that. It's mainly because of the fact he's a fucking nepo baby. It's because of the fact he's never actually held a actual job, ever. Like every single job he's had, like I've looked up his resume. Every single job he's had has been handed to him by either his father or his mother.
And you want to know what
So-
one of his jobs listed are? That's not even that long ago. Is that he was an
What?
indie rapper.
Wait, hold on. What?
Yep.
Hello.
He was an
Wait, hold
indie
on, I gotta
rapper.
find this.
He was a rapper, dude.
I gotta
Yeah, this is a
find
true
Mandani
story. He's a
rapper.
rapper.
A very bad rapper.
Mom Donnie. Again, I'm not going to go into my full thing until everybody else speaks. So I kind of want to speak in the last. But to me, Mom Donnie, when he was campaigning, was trying to be. It was like asking an AI to
Did he
list
rap?
you to list you things that Americans do in American culture. Like, hey, what are like the top 10 things in American culture? And then he just speed ran all of them. Okay, be a SoundCloud rapper, go to a basketball game, go to a wrestling match, like just lift weights, like just dumb shit that like clearly you don't do
Eat a
actually.
burrito with a fork and knife.
One of the things
Like
he
this-
messed up was eating with his hands because he chose a weird rice dish instead of burgers and fries.
This dude, like, I remember it's a meme now, but I remember a video where he was given, I think we all know what I'm talking about, where he was given like Billy Joel's New York State of Mind, and then he couldn't recognize the song. Like, that's the guy that's now running New York, dude, like, or New York City at least. Like, I know that sounds petty, but it's like, man,
Not
come on.
Not my chair, not my problem. I fucking hate New York, anyways.
Anybody else want to jump in here before I go to like actual pointed questions?
I'll jump in. I actually we have a viewer opinion on this. So Dark Hood here is saying the reason why Madani won the election is not because of his socialist plan or communist plan. It's because of this one clip where he had a debate with a bunch of the other candidates. The other candidates all apparently said that they went to the Holy Land of Jerusalem, and
Oh,
Madani
yeah.
said he's just going to stay in New York, taking care of New York.
I
apparently
remember that.
that got a big support from him. And Dark Hood goes on to say, regardless of whether or not you see him as a lie or not, the idea that he said he's here for New York just resonated with the Longhorn New Yorkers.
Darkhorn,
Yes.
I agree
Hood.
with the sentiment of your point, but I disagree with
But
the
hold on. My
I
the
point
would
was-
diagnosis.
agree to
Basically,
an extent.
basically, what I'm trying to say is that's not the reason he won New York. That might be a part of the reason. That might be like a 2% of the reason. The reason Mamdani won is how bad Cuomo and Adams fucked up. That's the reason.
That's
Yeah, shitty
basically
ass
what he's saying.
and how
They're
horrible the
terrible
country's being
candidates,
run right
honestly.
now.
That's the reason why.
Well, and also because, well, you got to figure the country's not being ran that well, so everybody wants the exact opposite of what's happening now.
That also has things to play into it. Usually, I actually found this kind of surprising that I didn't pick up on it sooner because I pick up on patterns. But this usually ends up being the way. Like a president, doesn't matter who, doesn't matter if it's Democratic or Republican. The president that's sitting in office, midterms don't go his way. That's like almost historically how that goes. So like these kind of races, they end up going not his way. Which makes me feel really bad about the midterms because New York was a big part of it. But, we got time.
Wait, I mean, I don't think the Republican Party's going to have a chance again, like until another 4 or 8 years.
The one thing that bothers me about this is I kept explaining to Pops how important Epstein's list was, and it's coming into play because I don't think Democrats have this lead without the Epstein saga.
What's coming out now is not. It's really not looking good for Trump, considering there's pictures of him with half-naked preteen girls.
I don't even give a shit about all of that. And I don't think anybody in America does either.
Nobody gives a shit about that. The problem is
It's the fact that we don't have a list.
Now the right doesn't give a shit.
No.
It's
You're missing the point. You're missing the point. It's not who's on the list that we give a fuck about anymore. It's the fact that there's an absence of a list.
There was never a list.
Yes, but we were told there is one.
Yeah.
So now we want one produced. Like,
fucking list, guys. That's all we want. We just want the fucking list.
if it doesn't exist, then fucking make it exist because at that you already told us it existed.
Who initially said the word list?
It does exist.
Who initially said the word list?
It was
the
released.
files
The
exist.
book
I
was
don't
released years
remember
ago.
how that originated. Subs to give
Files
you
exist.
Slender.
Files exist. I don't recall a list until people started talking online about it more often. Because what was first talked about was
That's true.
files.
I agree. It was files before it was list. But even then, we were told about the existence of a list in those files.
From
you were
who?
told
That's
You
my
guys
question.
think that the reason these guys won these elections was because of an Epstein's list. You guys are fucking.
It's
way
not.
off.
No, I'm not saying that was like the number one core reason that's why he got elected because immigration was the number one.
I don't
core
think
reason
that
why he
had
got
any
elected.
real issue in
It's-
New York at all.
It's
Anywhere.
no. I'm
Listen,
talking about in the
fact
country.
of the matter is that they won their blue state. They won
Oh, he's
in
fiery
their
tonight.
fucking backyard.
Yeah, but
God damn it.
but the race in New York was blue versus blue.
It kind of was.
So they
pretty-
got the
that's
fucking
basically
guy
what it
that
was.
killed a bunch of old people that they were butthurt about. He didn't win. They elected this communist.
Basically, the voters
listen,
just
going
said
back
screw
to-
the establishment. That's all they were saying when they voted for Mamdani. That's all they cared
Going
about.
back to what I was saying, it's not the number one reason Trump got elected to presidency, the Epstein list. It's a top 5 issue. Especially to people in my age group. That's a top 5 issue.
Yeah, but the problem is like, did people? You're saying people voted for Trump because of the Epstein list when
No,
everybody
no.
knew he was on the Epstein
No.
list?
No. I'm saying that the Epstein list and us finally getting the truth about it was a top 5 issue as to our age group.
Oh yeah. You're absolutely right, and we're still not getting any answers about it.
The most we're going to get is the files they released, which has a lot of redacted information because of victim information and things like that. So good luck getting that information.
Well, you had these people these women who wanted to come out and say like these are the people who were involved, blah 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 blah, and they were instantly contacted and threatened to be sued into next year.
You gotta
Like,
understand how big of a fucking letdown that is, because when Trump got elected, everybody on my side of the ball had their shovels out ready to bury pedos, and we have not yet got to do
honestly
that.
thought Donald Trump was going to do something like
I
Donald Trump is a
believed
pedo.
I believed Cash I believed Cash and
You think
Bongino.
Cash
I did. I
Patel
believed
and-
them. I was a sucker. I believed Cash and Bongino on that.
Have you looked at Cash Patel like in his eyes and his face? Like you believe that man
Yeah.
is like not like a little bit retarded?
I mean, he did tell Charlie that he'll see him in Valhalla, which is not where Charlie is. But all right, I'm gonna grant you this. It's not the point. What I'm saying is that like with the rhetoric that Cash and Bongino were coming into this with, I really did believe that they were gonna give us the answers we were hoping to get, and we didn't get them.
And let me just say real quick,
shit works.
this isn't this how we talk here is not the same as our chat itself. So if people are going to start just going into ad hominem on people instead of the substance of the argument, I will start calling it out, Brandon.
Well, that's great. Good for you.
Okay,
You get thumbs up.
I don't know if my ad hom alarm went off, but maybe I wasn't. Paying
No,
attention.
he's been not on people directly on the substance. He's
Oh.
attacking the people that we're talking about instead of the substance of the actual discussion.
All right, well,
Yeah, but
at
the end of the day,
the ad harm alarm hasn't gone off yet. But all right,
yeah, I
all right.
know. It just
Noted.
sounds like, yeah, thank you, Slendy, for that. Thank you.
the buzz,
I
the
got-
Oh boy.
yeah,
Oh,
that's
boy,
the ad
there
hom.
we go.
That's the ad hom alarm. All right,
That.
Is that really the alarm now?
No,
Yeah,
this
we
is
can-
Oh boy.
Everybody love everybody! Come on!
Why do
That
we
is the
have these toggles now?
all right. So, going back to Mom Donnie, do we want to? Does anybody else want to jump in before I get
So
to?
can I continue?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so we spoke a lot about him, and like I was saying, the main thing that it came down to when it came to voting for him was everybody was saying screw the establishment. Because think about it, what do Siwa and Cuomo basically represent at this point to the people of New York? The
Establishment,
establishment
Democrat.
that they're already used to, that they've been living under and having to deal with. So of course they want something different. They've been saying that they want something different for the longest time. But is this really like the revenge of the Dems? I'm not sure on that part yet. It's more of like a wake-up call for the folks. That's all.
Now, this is a Democrat Party going extreme left.
Yes. Well,
Which we're going to get into later.
we'll
in the,
see, because that is also
in the pod, but
a
yes.
topic of discussion when it comes to Mamdani, because what was the first things that he did as soon as he got elected? We already saw he had a giant meeting with a bunch of rich Jewish people. And then he also first thing decided to beg for money from the taxpayers again after their campaign said not to send them money anymore.
They're like, you can send us money now. They literally said, now you can send me money again.
But this is just a regular trend. Every off-year election pattern, what happens? The Dems rally against the feds.
This is true. My whole, I guess. I'm so less concerned. Okay, there's this like Islamophobia meme attached to him that I really feel like the Democrats must have instilled this, and then a bunch of like racist like Republicans picked up on it, and now we're fucked, and there's a whole meta combo. But like I feel like the Islamophobia thing is really distracting from the main issue here, which is fucking Mamdani is one, not very good at understanding what he can do, because I think Cuomo brought it up in the debate, but the taxes that he's hoping to propose on the city, he doesn't actually have the power to do that. as
And
a
even if
mayor.
he did, he would just drive out all the people that he would want to be taxing anyway.
He's
that
already doing that.
that's my second point. My second point is, even in the perfect pretty world that he wants to live in, where he's banking on the 1% to fund the fucking grocery stores and fund the fucking bus system and fund the free child health care and fund the renovations and fund the housing crisis and freeze the rent. All this is supposed to be paid for by the 2% tax that you're banking on the 1% to accept. But what if the 1% decides that Florida's better? Where's the plan then? What's the plan then?
Like, DeSantis is like giving them an open ticket. Like, hey, if you want to come here, by all means, go for it.
Because he understands what we're seeing. Like, if Mom Donnie even gets 50% of what he's hoping to get, the New York Stock Exchange is going to be renamed the Miami Stock Exchange. It's going to sit on South Beach, and and we're
Brickell.
and mother or Brickell, and
You see-
motherfuckers are going to be drinking coladas instead of fucking Starbucks when they're jumping up and down stock markets.
There's an
and our
issue
stock
with that
markets
too,
are going to
though.
look really fucking crazy because it's going to be like, have you seen coladas? It's liquid cocaine, and then you want stockbrokers to fucking work on that.
But there's an issue with that too. See, when the people leave their state because of failed policies, the majority of the time they don't change their view. They take their policies with them.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I
that's
think
what
the
I
rich
said.
assholes.
Yes, but the people that are leaving New York are the ones that don't agree with the policies of
Well,
New
at
York.
first it'll be the
Yes,
one,
but remember, not everybody that disagrees with the policies is someone that disagreed with it right away.
True.
Ugh.
That's what
Anyway,
I
guys,
said.
I'm gonna actually hop
If you
off
come
here
into
just
my state, leave your fucking politics over there.
because- Here, I'll just
Yeah.
leave it at this because I feel like this is what we're all thinking.
Yeah, they don't. All right,
That's
Eric.
true.
All right, later. I'll see you tomorrow.
But
Have a
but
good
no,
night.
the that's, I think, my number one issue with Mom Donnie and his policy, or his policies, I've looked through them all. He's banking on the rich being there. What if the rich isn't fucking there? Then what?
Yeah.
It's fucked.
He's gonna piss, because it's not like he's gonna admit defeat. That's not how politicians work, and especially not fucking first timers like Mom Donnie, because he's not fucking experienced.
I mean, honestly, the other part of it is the voters aren't even really knowledgeable or experienced enough either. The majority of people that I've heard that were asked about why they voted for him, they just gave the bare minimum if they even knew his policies. Otherwise, they said stuff like, oh, his TikToks, his smile.
I know. It's pathetic.
So when the rich leaves and those taxes stay because no one wants to admit defeat on the taxes, it's the other bottom 80% that has to pay those fucking taxes. How is that going to fucking work? Well, those grocery stores that he's putting in there, they're going to be selling milk at like fucking $20 a gallon. Gas is going to shoot to insane prices. If you thought Ubers were expensive there before, you're not going to be rolling around for $100 a mile. You're going to be fucking rolling around at $3.50 a mile. Like, cost of living was insane now. It's going to be insane when the rich leave. Like, way more insane. Those houses are never going to get built. And then on top of that, the rent freeze thing is my favorite meme, because I used to really like the idea of rent freezing until somebody told me, yeah, but what if the landlord just doesn't fucking rent? Then what? And that's
Yeah.
true. Because that's exactly what will end up happening, because that's already what they're fucking doing. We're going to keep the house off the market. We'll let it fall to shit. But it's not a good investment to rent it to you. So what are we fixing? We're not fixing anything. It's just a bunch of pretty words told to you by a guy with his knuckles deep in rice. Like, forget the Islam part, the Muslim part. That's fun and entertaining and a meme. But, like, when you actually go into the core of Zohran Mamdani and his policies of what he wants to do in New York, half of them he can't. And even if he could, they're not going to work because he's banking on people that are the only people with the ability to leave.
His team that he's stacking up also doesn't provide room for comfort. He already named a bunch of a transition team stacked with women, including a bunch of city hall professionals, which
Yeah.
you probably know what that means when it comes to city hall professionals, quote unquote, and then a former FTC chair. So that seems a little bit of interest conflicty there.
They wanted something different in New York. I understand it, but like, careful what you ask for because it's not gonna be what you want. People want things to be cheaper in New York, and that's not what's gonna end up happening here. Like,
No,
at all.
like it's like if you look, I don't know, like I said this before in the chat, like many times when I spoke, like where I say like, there's a pattern here. There is a pattern here. What we're witnessing now is we're not going to get that decrease of inflation like we were promised. We're not going to get
No.
any of the things that
Not
we were
yet.
promised. Like the pattern here is that no, things are going to get more expensive. They're going to, no matter what, it's going to happen. This dollar is going to collapse under this economy. Like it's going to end up happening. Like I'm just saying, not because I'm not blaming Donald Trump. I'm not blaming, but like just watching the trends of how things are going, I don't see us returning to normal ever. Like I don't see us ever going back to where we were before 2020 at all, economically.
Imposible.
I don't think it's possible to get back to there either.
Yeah, no, I don't. So like the inflation's gonna keep going as long as
Well,
the deficit.
you know what?
keeps
That's
going.
not. You know what? That's not true. That's not 100% true. There is a way, but I don't see the dollar getting there.
No, the dollar is always going to. I feel like the dollar can only go two places. It's going to stay where it's at, or it's going to plummet. And the thing is like most likely it is going to plummet. It has to. Like you got to see like.
I think we're going to see in our lifetimes the change into the crypto market, and that's going to be how we get over the collapse of the dollar. Because I mean, our president now is becoming savvy in crypto. Let's say Democrats drop the ball and JD Vance wins the next election. He's very savvy with crypto. Whoever else is next in that generation, doesn't matter, Democrat or Republican, they're going to be young enough to be savvy with crypto. And we're already seeing like major companies transferring their major transactions into either Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. Like, I think that's going to be the answer to the economic collapse of the dollar that we're, watching, because we're watching that. That's
Well, I
happening.
mean, you don't seem to like. I mean, I don't know. I'm just a little bit crazy, but it's like the emergence of Bitcoin and whatnot. Well, this like, bro, didn't this all really happen around what time did that come out? Like early 2000s?
Bitcoin came out in the early 2000s, but like the surge of crypto, I want to say was like early 2010s.
Yeah, but I'm saying back in the early 2000s, like you're right. You're absolutely right.
So if we're
But
going to be
like,
talking about finance and money, I have a lot to say on this, but go ahead and continue first.
it just seems like the dollar is like it's inevitable that the dollar is going to collapse. Like the rise and fall of economies, no matter how strong your economy is. I mean, dude, look at. I mean, I hate
But
to
in
break
the
it up.
same sense, I don't think the dollar is going to be the only thing that collapses. Like, look
Oh,
at the
absolutely
ruble.
not.
Look at the ruble right now. It's not good. Look at the franc
The
right
ruble,
now. It's not
the,
good.
the ruble's been collapsed.
Yeah. Even then, look at the franc. Look at the pound. Like these things are all going to collapse with the dollar. I think we're going to go into
Nope.
a digital
What's going to
market.
collapse is central banking.
It's very
Central
unlikely.
banking.
Very unlikely the dollar will collapse anytime soon. I can go into a lot more behind this. If we're gonna get into economics,
ahead.
we have to take a full view of everything, right? So first off, what was the GDP before 2020?
Oh my god. I want to say it was like. Hold on. You know what? Let me look that up. I don't want to even guess it. What was U.S. GDP?
I mean, I can tell you don't really have to look it up. So back then, it sat around $21.4 trillion.
Yeah. You're right. 21.5.
So about a 2.2 to 3% growth yearly, right? Now today, it's ballooned over to what, a $30 trillion.
Yeah.
So, and we're seeing a 3.8% annualized growth, right? That's like the highest we've seen. That's like the best we've seen since 2023.
Increased at an annual rate of 3.8. Go. Yeah, I'm seeing
So,
it.
on paper, we're much richer as a nation. However,
Well,
it's also
that's-
a lot is still riding on the AI and tech bubble. So, and then of
Yeah, but
course we had,
I feel like this is kind of okay, but I feel like how do I put this in gamer terms?
I'm not done with everything though. With
Okay, go ahead.
explaining it.
Yeah. Let me not interrupt you. Go ahead and finish, and then I'll go.
Right. So, of course, the average Joe is still not really feeling any changes there, right? Because our groceries went up about 25% since 2020 altogether. Rents also went up higher. Unemployment pre-2020 was around 4%, basically full employment. And now we're at 4.2%, I believe. And the forecast is that it should be 5% by 2027 if it holds. It's not a disaster, but there are issues in that regard as well. Remember, folks are being pickier with their jobs. We've had immigration messing with the numbers right now. So if you're in retail or tech, there's a lot of layoffs and stuff going on there. So if you're in industry like AI, green energy, that's where it's really booming right now. So again, it's a give and take on everything. But here's where the real issue, the inflation, right? Before
That's what I wanna
2020,
get to.
we hovered at about a 1 to 2%, pretty tame for inflation rate. Post COVID, 2022, we hit up to 9%, right? Now we've been cooling down. It's been cooling down. In April, it went down to 2.3%. It jumped up a little bit in June. So April was 2.3%. In June, it's back up. It was back up to 2.7%. The tariffs, of course, and the shutdown aren't helping anything because everything just makes it cost more and all that, and the GDP gains is being eroded.
Now,
And then, of
what's the
course, our
deficit?
debt. Sorry, what were you saying?
What is the deficit looking like?
Yeah, that's what he was getting to.
We'll get
The debt. So our national debt is 23 trillion in 2019. It's now up about 12 trillion more. So we're pushing 35 trillion or more right now. And of course, the endless printing doesn't help that, right?
Yes.
That's where the main overreach comes from. But overall, it's a mixed bag, right? So it's going to seem worse for the everyday grinders, people that are having to deal with the day to day. But the economy itself, on the macro stats, has definitely recovered. There's stronger growth, more jobs, but again, quality of life. We have higher
Exactly.
costs, wage stagnation. So it's a give and take. So it's not like it's. Basically, to put it in an analogy, it's like winning the lottery, but blowing it all on bad investments.
Yeah,
I have a better analogy for you, because like everything you said is like so technically fucking correct, and this is my issue with stats. The reason why Brandon and I are like forecasting the collapse, and like we're forecasting the transfer, and even Dad
I'll get
saying,
into
like,
the collapse next, but I'll let you say your piece first.
and even Dad saying central banking is like gonna fucking not be what we use either. These numbers that are ahead, that we're going ahead, I feel like, and even you touched it with the printing of the money, because that's really
So wait. Hold
One
on,
of
hold on.
it.
I still didn't have my question answered. What is the deficit at right now? What is it?
36.
trillion.
They did
30,
it.
30,
I said
35%.
it's
I thought you
pushing.
said that's
or
the
It's pushing.
35 billion or trillion. Oh yeah, that is the debt.
I said deficit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, deficit.
Yes, sir.
I do not have that pulled up. Let me pull that up real fast. See if I can.
Alright, well-
This is why I said I kept saying in the chat is
pulling
the
it,
deficit. The debt. Okay, go ahead.
while he's pulling it, to
The
put
U.S.
this in a game,
deficit is $1.8 trillion for 2025.
Compared to last year.
Compared to last year, it's slightly lower. Let me see if I can find last year's. From this marking here, last year was. Hold on, it's giving me the same stat. Let me see if I can find. Where's the treasury data? Uh, 1.78 trillion more than it has collected in 2025. Let me pull up 2024. 2024, we were at 1.83 trillion, so we're a little bit lower on the deficit this year.
About the
Okay.
same, though.
Yeah. I mean, like honestly, like
we haven't moved.
it hasn't moved much. So as long as we can, in my opinion, as long as Trump, well, with the few years he has left in office, doesn't somehow, shit the bed and we start printing more money and not taking enough taxes and, basically fucking ourselves over like his plan usually does. I mean, if it's staying where it's at, great. But like his plan, in my opinion, if we keep going the direction we're going, the deficit's going to grow. But if he keeps I think some of these tariffs is helping us. Actually, to be honest, I think
They are.
Totally
They are.
is.
They are.
They are. So we're not going to see anything negative from the tariffs for at least like 30 years afterward.
30 years.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's how long it takes for tariffs to actually negatively affect a country.
Huh.
So
Actually, it's in the Supreme Court's hands right now, bro. Because if they fuck them on the tariffs, we're fucked.
Well, I honestly think with the way things are going, man, I don't see his Republican Party having his back very much longer.
Right, you're looking at it from the everyday person viewpoint, which is understandable. But again, when you look at the full scope of everything, it's currently a mixed bag. And let me get in on the dollar collapse real quick because, yeah,
Go ahead.
I've heard a lot of doomsaying about it myself. I've had my own speculation on it, but the more I look into it, the more it just seems like people think it's going to be like some apocalypse. It's never going to hit anything
I don't
like that
feel
from
like
what I
it's-
can see. Maybe it'll depreciate depreciate another 10% by 2026, right? It may go down a little bit further than that, but we have our recession odds at what, 40%? Yeah, about 40% for our recession odds. So are we going to see a full collapse? That is highly unlikely. The dollar is still the world's reserve. It's still backed by the biggest economy and military. It would really take a serious hyperinflation or losing reserve status, which is not happening soon.
I think the hyperinflation though.
It's not happening soon.
Because to put this in a gamer turn, to get back to my point, with the numbers that are steadily heading in the positive direction, we're not feeling that on the everyday layman level. It feels like there's, let's say you play the first game in a trilogy, right? And the first game, its point system is like 5s and 10s and 1s. And to get high scores, you have to get 1,000 points on a level or something. But then you play the second game. And the second game, the point system isn't 5, 10s, and 1s. Now they're rewarding you by the hundreds. Now you're getting 400, 500, 600, 700, 800. You feel good because you're getting more points. But to get the high score, well, now you have to get 1,000,000 points. And then the next game, it's Now they're giving you thousands, but now you have to get 1,000,000,000 points to get the high score. Like, yeah, everything seems like you're getting more because even look at your paycheck, you're getting more, but you're not really.
Right, because you're looking at it
Seeing-
from the everyday person viewpoint.
Yeah, yeah, but you gotta understand. That's a lot of like the people that are doing these little investments now. These and
of course.
they're not picking the stock market anymore.
Here's
They're
where
not
I'll say
picking
on
penny
that, though.
stocks anymore and day trading anymore. They're going into crypto.
Right here, and that's where I'll say on this: if you have any fear of where the economy is going, you can definitely hedge your bets. You like go into some gold, go into some crypto, and you can
Gold.
secure yourself. However, that's you know that's paranoia. I mean, I'd still invest in that stuff anyway, just because of the slight bit of paranoia. But the fact of the matter is, from the stats and everything and how everything's going trend-wise, it's very unlikely, very much of would be a completely insanely rare case for our dollar to completely collapse anytime soon.
I don't
Like I
think
said,
we'll
it
ever
will
see.
weaken. It will weaken. It will probably weaken in about that 10% that they are expecting, but I doubt
I don't
that it
think
will
we'll
ever
see
get
a full
close to that.
collapse, but I think we'll see in our lifetimes
I,
that the American dependency of the dollar give way to crypto, like Bitcoin or something to that nature. I'm hearing a lot of shit about XRP, but you didn't hear from me. You know, but like I feel like that's where, and it makes sense if you think about it for our evolution. Like that makes sense where the world's going. And then there's like just a genuine distrust of the old style banking system, like the central banking system, the Federal Reserve, paper dollars. Like there's even the banks here in America, like there's a distrust to that. But for some reason,
Oh, of
which
course.
is crazy, which is crazy to me because like the volatility of crypto, but for some reason there's a bigger trust in our age group for crypto. We feel like we are more in control of that than our dollar.
Because
So I feel
technically
like-
we are, and I'll explain why we are more in control of things like crypto than in like it. So when it comes to crypto like Bitcoin and things, the majority of them are open source. So the entire source code is available to view. So anyone can go in there and see what exactly makes up the actual cryptocurrency and the chain that it runs on. The problem is you're never going to be able to easily hack that or anything. You can scam people like they do because it's harder to trace. I mean, it's not impossible to trace. It's just harder to trace based on wallet addresses and everything where the money is going or being sent to, things like that.
True. But yeah, man, I just going back. We just had a fucking whole meta conversation on crypto and the finance. To circle back to Mom Donnie. Does it, Charles? Do you want to get in on the Mom Donnie convo before we flip over to Cali?
No, what are you talking about? Madani's not that bad. It's great. It's absolutely great. Everything's
She's
what is
not
Alex-
watching,
what-
Charles.
what is
I
Alex
promise.
Charles, what is Alex Jones' opinion on that?
The demon communists are taking over. New York has fallen. They've forgotten about the airplanes hitting the buildings, and now it's going to be an Islamic state, an Islamic
Whoa,
demonic
whoa.
state.
Alex Jones,
People
calm
are
down.
stupid.
You can't be
They
calling
didn't
people
vote.
demons here.
All demons, everyone voting, a bunch of demons. They don't know what's coming. It's gonna fall. New York has fallen. New York
All right,
has
well,
fallen.
I guess we
And I
can't
am
stop
raging
Alex.
trying to tell everybody. I've been warning you this coming. I've been saying it for years. I've been saying it. I predicted 9/11, and now here we are, 30 years later. I told you. I told everybody.
And what?
Gang communists are taking over. Don't forget about the frogs.
What?
I guess we can't stop Alex Jones from calling people names like demons and stuff.
Wait, yeah. I guess that ad hominem doesn't work. Alarm doesn't work.
No. The
Well, we don't
So
have the
to
alarm
ex-
controller here either. Eric's the alarm controller.
To exit Mom Donnie, I will leave it at this. If we're ever gonna have a American
Wait,
experiment on communist
right,
socialism.
right. So let me have the actual take on this. Let me
All right, yeah,
calm
go
down,
ahead.
Alex Jones. No, but I think we covered a lot in the sense of like, yes, he has all these ideas. Like back when I was younger, of course, I was also Bernie bro, like many of us here. And these things are just hard, if not impossible, to come to fruition. Like all his fucking plans and I'm just gonna generate all this magical money from the people, the rich people that are gonna pay. Because again, the option, like we talked about, the option is they can just fucking leave. They ain't gotta deal with this shit.
Ask Cuba how that worked out.
Yeah, I mean,
Shit, they jumped on rafts
they
to
yeah,
leave.
exactly. So I mean, we're gonna see probably the Great New York Migration if shit really gets.
Yeah,
into
How's
it.
that
and
working
look,
out
hey,
for
and
them?
That's
you
only
know
if
what though?
Mhm.
Florida is going to turn into an absolute hellhole soon.
Oh,
It
it
already
is.
fucking
It already
is.
No,
It
no,
already.
I know
Have
it
you
is.
been? Excuse me. I'm sorry. I don't want to make this a fucking UFA fucking thing, but I haven't known a home game against a New York team in 6 fucking years.
Well, that's because you're a Dolphins fan.
Yeah.
No, it's because they all fucking live here now.
Well, aside from that, too, the gentrification is already out of control, and like, it's only gonna keep getting worse.
I see Florida becoming California. I see a mass immigration of homeless soon.
No fucking
No,
way, dude.
I think
No. Florida's gonna become New York City. I can already tell by the traffic.
I mean Miami is definitely on its way to that.
I
You would
see
think
all
that they would
Florida
just go to
becoming-
Texas.
How I explained it to Brendan yesterday, because Brendan was trying to get he hasn't been here in a while. Miami is turning into New York City. Broward's turning into Miami, which means West Palm Beach is turning into Broward, and then everything north of West Palm Beach until you get to the sticks is West Palm Beach now.
Till you get to the sticks.
Yeah, so you get to about like Bradenton, the stick area,
No, like
Loxahatchee.
Vero.
Yeah,
Bradenton's
Vero.
on the West Coast.
Vero's a good spot too. Yeah, I would cut off at Vero.
Yeah, like Vero is where I'd cut off, and if we're gonna divide Florida between North and South Florida,
No,
Vero
just
is-
that's where it is because everybody's moving more north. Miamians are going to Broward, which means Broward fucking hates Miamians, so they're gonna fucking move up north too. West Palm Beach can't stand Broward people, so they're gonna fucking move up north, and then all the same people that are not with West Palm Beach are gonna find fucking homes in the sticks.
Oh, Port St. Lucie. is gonna be- Port St. Lucie
PSL is
gonna be-
already fucking building for the Exodus, dude.
I don't even think Port St. Port St. Lucie is going to be probably the worst thing ever now. Like,
And it's so pretty up there. It's so nice and quiet and comfortable, and they don't know. They don't know
Not
what's about to
anymore.
come to them. They don't know what's about to come to them in the next 5 years, bro. All those Boca kids and shit. Oh,
St. Lucie
man.
County is like an AIDS infested. Like, the only thing I can compare it to is like, oh, it's like a white ghetto, a big white ghetto.
Where?
Port
PSL?
St. Lucie.
Oh, Port St. Lucie.
Dude, I don't know,
Yeah,
bro.
pretty much all of
We
St.
were...
Lucie County except for Fort Pierce, because like Fort Pierce, you don't even acknowledge Fort Pierce's existence.
Me
Like,
and
that's-
Pops were looking at houses up in PSL because they were cheap and they were
I
nice.
I'm telling you, no. Don't let your kids go to school there. No. That's no.
Because it looked
Bro,
pretty
you
up
got to
there.
figure. I lived in St. Lucie County. I lived in Martin County. Like, we were right on the border. Like when it comes to St. Lucie and Martin County, it's like, bro, people in Martin County, we don't even acknowledge St. Lucie County as part of Florida.
Jesus.
Yeah, like that's where you send the undesirables.
But is that before or after? Because they've gone through a bunch of building, gentrification.
No, they really have, but it's still Port St. Lucie.
Okay.
Like, unless you're looking at tradition or something like that.
Well, now it's going to become Boca.
Yeah, it's kind of like what it is, but like if Boca was poor.
Yeah, no, now it's just going to straight up become Boca.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Or like a
How about Vero
Boynton. St.
Boca?
Lucie's like Boynton.
Yeah. But, okay, let's get to
Before we get into the next topic, Glacial over here sent me something from Fox. If we want to look at that, it's like 30 seconds.
Go ahead, bring it up.
Let me see here. Share.
Click the share screen.
this.
Yeah.
All right.
And that moment we realized that our bombers were out of Iran and the bombs had hit the target and the world didn't know.
Oh
It was
man.
a fun moment when Donald Trump turned to his assistant and said, "Go get me my phone."
Oh man. This guy.
Ready?
Was it on a signal chat?
The world, listen, FAFO. All right?
Hey!
And that moment we realized.
Oh
Okay.
man.
And also, by the way, the Patriot Awards is wild.
The Patriot Awards. Oh yeah, okay. I didn't even see that. That's what it was saying on the back of it. I was just paying attention to Pete there the whole time.
Okay, so leaving Mom Donnie, I will say this. If we're gonna have an American experiment on socialist communism, I'm glad New York it was where they picked to have that. Like, of all places that deserve it.
Yeah, their teams
That's true.
already suck. So.
And also, not to mention, I know it's trade deadline shit, but like Mom Donnie wins and immediately they gut the Jets and move everybody out of fucking New York. I'm just saying, like, that's not a coincidence, dude. That's not. Sign of things to come. All right. California's Proposition 50 has passed.
California's full of retards, so we knew that was going to pass.
That's not going to affect anything.
California voters approved Prop 50 with 58% support, authorizing the state legislature to redraw the congressional districts for the 2026 midterms in response to Republican gerrymandering in states like Texas. The measure, backed by Gavin Newsom, aims to create up to 5 more Democratic-leaning seats, but is temporary, expiring after 2028. Basically, he literally just did this for this election because fuck Texas.
Yep.
And has
Which is
already
funny because
sparked
they do
lawsuits.
this stuff all the time.
This move has already sparked lawsuits from California's GOP. Right-wing Republicans call Proposition 50 a Democratic power grab to rig elections, with the state GOP filing lawsuits claiming it violates fair mapping rules. Trump took to True Social to call out Gavin Newsom's giant scam, framing it as a hypocrisy after Dems decried GOP maps.
Well,
I
yeah,
find that
yeah.
I find that whole sentence funny because they did do it in Texas. So, to be fair,
Yeah, well, the thing is this is
Yeah,
like
the Democrats
gonna
have been doing it
gerrymander-
forever.
Like, you can't just let one side gerrymander. If you keep doing that, you're going to lose. That's how Republicans have rigged the election for years. Like, I know.
Alright,
I'm just
so
saying, like, for
alright,
local
let's give
government,
both
yes.
sides the proper due. Both sides have do this constantly.
Oh
They
yeah, no,
both
they
redraw
absolutely
their
do.
districts for whatever works best for them. Both sides rig the elections in however way they can.
No, yeah, they do, but like, you can't let one side do it and sit there with your hands folded.
I mean, the Republicans have let them one-sidedly do it quite a few times. So I mean, it's really just dependent on what's more politically pressing for them.
Democrats hail it as an essential to protect democracy from GOP extremism, with Newsom celebrating it as a counter to Texas redistricting.
It's always protecting democracy.
AOC and Sanders praised voter turnout in urban areas, arguing it levels the playing field without permanent changes. Okay.
I love
I
that
mean,
California is already super gerrymandered, and they're like, what if we do it even more?
Why did they call it protecting democracy when they already say it's literally just in response to when the red states redraw?
They're only going to lose 2 of those Democrats.
But democracy is when Democrats win.
I guess so.
It's in the name.
Yeah.
It is in the name. You are right about that.
Voters have
But I
approved
mean, the voters did say yes
50
overwhelmingly.
redrawn
So
congressional districts in a way that could cost Republicans
That's
5
fine.
seats next
Fucking
year.
do it.
The
Do
new
it.
maps are
Do
expected to
those
reshape
5
the political
fucking.
balance
Get
in
rid of those
favor
5
Democrats.
seats.
And tonight we're learning it may actually cost 6 seats. Today,
We'll just
Republican
gerrymander
Congressman Ken
even
Calvin
more, bro.
announced he'll challenge fellow Republican Congresswoman Young Kim
funny
next
how we
year for
always
California's
bring up
newly redrawn
democracy,
40th
but
district.
it's a
His old seat is now a
republic.
Democratic stronghold, setting up a high-stakes GOP
Not a democracy.
showdown. California Congressman Kevin Kiley is in a lose-lose situation. He's one of the 5 Republican incumbents targeted by Prop 50. His 3rd congressional district will flip from a 3% point GOP advantage to an 8-point Democratic one. Here's why Kiley said today he's not worried yet.
Sure the premise is even true at this point. You have like all these other states that are now lining up with North Carolina and Missouri and Indiana on the Republican side, Virginia, Maryland, Illinois on the Democrat side. At the end of the day, it may be a wash or something close to it. And so, what is really the point?
Kiley says despite the Prop 50 loss, he still plans to run again for another term in the House of Representatives next year. Well, Californians are still talking about the resounding approval of Prop 50, the redistricting plan to create more Democratic seats. Fox 7's Laura Diaz is here with more on what passage means for the future. Laura, last night we were so surprised. 8 o'clock, boom, then the election was called not long after.
It's highly unusual, right, for it to be called that early. We're still watching this.
Because they rigged it. I'm kidding.
It's rigged. Challenging the Prop 50 results. The question remains, is this just the beginning of what could be a flurry of political moves?
I'm kidding. You didn't have to rig this one. Everybody in California is just fucking dumb.
Wednesday at the Orange County Registrar's office in Santa Ana, the voting continued one day after Proposition 50 passed in a landslide.
It's rigged. By the way, I want to say that God bless. Another reason Florida's kicked ass. To pass shit like this needs 60% of the vote, not
Howard
50.
Cameron found no federal monitors Wednesday afternoon in the OC.
Would have
Prop
failed in
50, which was
Florida.
the brainchild of Democratic California Governor Newsom in a special election, was designed to counter efforts in Republican states in order to boost GOP representation in Congress. Right now, Orange County registered voters are 37% Democrats to 33% Republican. One day after the election, this voter from the OC reacted this way.
It should not be allowed that the Democrats are allowed to switch over a Republican person in office to a Democratic.
With the passage of Prop 50, red areas like coastal Orange County.
Is this your first time with gerrymandering, sir?
Representative Young Kim against Representative
No, I'm
Ken
just
Calvert.
listening to how everybody sounds like Ben Shapiro right now.
Of Long Beach. But it's a movement threatened.
I think it is premature to say that the MAGA movement has died. I think what we know is that last night was a good night for Democrats and that there were a few big races and Democrats won big. And what this means for the midterm elections, I don't think we know for sure. And what this means for the next presidential election, I don't think we know for sure.
Of course, everybody will be analyzing it. Professor Levinson reminds us that we still have to see it picking up. Now, you said 6 seats is enough to tilt the balance of power for Democrats. We also need to see what other states do as a reaction, and that's what people are talking about. Is there a domino effect? And at the end of the day, what does it actually mean as to who was elected to Congress?
Exactly, but that was what was said even last night, right after the election was called, where it was like, well, Indiana and all these other states, Illinois, they're asking Illinois to step up and change. And the problem is this is mid-decade, so it's just unusual all the way around.
It almost feels like it's...
All right. So, I know Pop said that this really doesn't mean much. I kind of tend to agree because I just feel like now every state's going to redistrict their maps to do nothing. But maybe
either
piss
that
off
or
some
it's
people
just
that
gonna
have
be
seats.
either everybody's gonna redraw or it's just gonna be shut down.
Well, we're already at shutdown, so
well,
I guess there's your answer to that.
How about everybody just fix the election system and forget about gerrymandering? Let's just make sure everybody's a U.S. citizen.
Yeah, we should do it by popular vote.
Well, let's do it by people voting that aren't illegal.
Oh yeah, this pesky illegal voting.
They didn't
You know,
have state IDs.
I don't know,
for
man,
the
but for
Mondays.
years, I came in the country and I was told that if you're not a citizen, you can't vote. So I became a citizen. And now, motherfuckers that aren't citizens
are voting.
Driver's license, and they go vote.
They're not even voting with the driver's license.
And most of the states don't even ask them for a fucking driver's license. Comical.
That's the number one thing here. Like that the New York mayor, they didn't have voter
No, I know.
IDs for that. They didn't need to present state IDs.
Like, I don't know. I would always bring my voter card with me and my ID.
Yeah, but where do you live?
This is when I lived in Florida. I would bring my voter ID, my
Oh.
voter card, and my ID. And here in West Virginia, I had to bring my ID and my voter card.
Yeah, see, I lived in the great state of Florida, and I had to show ID.
Yeah, I had to show ID when I voted in Florida too, with my voter ID, my voter registration card, I would think. Like, I don't
You
know,
know
man.
what?
Like, the way I see it is this: what is the point of the voter registration card if it's not, if you're not bringing it to the poll?
Okay, you can bring the right, exactly. But you can bring
Like,
the voter's registration card, but you can get a
The
voter's
voter registration card
without
anyone can get
proving
because
you're a
that's
citizen.
part of the problem. You need to have an actual federal ID of some sort, like state driver's license, something like that.
That's what I say. They should put it on the driver's license.
But
if
the problem
you're
is,
a
even
citizen or
then,
not.
we've seen where we've had illegals getting some way getting documentation.
now my thing is this. Now I get what you're saying. Like, I hear these fears of illegals voting, but like, honestly, like, if you look at like voter trend frauds, these things aren't really recorded or even complained about. Like, when I say that, I mean, like, you know, you hear like what I can't remember how many quote unquote dead people supposedly voted in the 2020 election, but bro, everybody knows that's bullshit. Because in the entire history of the United States, I think like we've had like double digit numbers of confirmed actual voter fraud by using dead names. I'm saying double digit.
Some people were actually putting down addresses that was an empty lot.
Jesus.
And that's insane.
I didn't know that.
There's a lot of fucking shit that's wrong with our voting system, bro.
Oh yeah, I mean, especially if you look at it like, you know, from the standpoint of, let's say you're running for office in a state, like being able to just switch your like saying I'm gonna vote for this in the state, but you still have residencies in another state. So you voting twice in the, let's say you're voting twice in the midterm elections. Well, that's not really exactly fair. That's
No,
something.
It's
That's
not.
something that needs to be fixed as well.
It's
There's
not.
a lot.
You should have to vote in the state that you live in.
But if you have multiple residencies,
But where do you stay the longest?
yeah, that's what you it should be at. But like, who's gonna monitor how many hours you stay at a house?
Huh.
This is
Like,
where the
you know-
thing is fucked up.
Census?
Uh,
The census?
Because, like, what are you gonna? You're telling me it's fair that, like, if I have a house in Texas and I have a house here in Florida and I have a house in California, that I can go vote in California, vote in Texas, and vote in Florida? That's fucking crazy.
yeah,
There should be like something in the system that once you vote, don't matter what state, that's it. You can't vote no more. Should be a red flag.
I would give leeway to state elections. I think you should be able to vote in the state election if you have property in the state. Doesn't matter how much property you own. Because state elections affect that property.
But I don't think you should be able to vote for the president in one state. And then not.
That is different. You shouldn't be able to fucking participate in a federal election fucking more than once, and it doesn't matter how many properties you own.
You technically can't own a property without either being a resident or being a part of a American business.
But what is the logic of not asking people for an ID, like they do in California, for instance? What is the logic to that?
I could tell you the logic, but you're not going to like the answer. The logic is that they find requiring state ID to vote racist and classist because.
So basically, you're saying that black people or
Because poor
Mexicans are too stupid to get an ID.
Because poor people can't afford to go get an ID.
That's
and then on
bullshit.
top of that, most poor people belong in minority groups.
That's
so they find the
bullshit.
idea of presenting an ID or needing to present an ID to participate in the place that you live to be racist and classist.
Yeah, that's bullshit because you got to get an ID to go get beer, to go to fucking get health insurance, get anything. Anything. You need an ID for anything. In fact, it's against the law.
I told you weren't going to like the answer to that question.
In fact, it's against the law to walk around the streets without an ID.
Because the problem with your answer is it's not really much of an actual answer, even
I
though
know.
that's the answer that they give.
Yeah, and that's not an answer.
I know.
That's bullshit.
But that is the answer that they give. That's their reason.
Everything's racist. And it's more racist to think that it's racist. Because what you're being racist against
You're basically
the people.
saying that just because you're black you're poor.
Yeah. And that's racist. And you're basically saying that if you're a Mexican, you can't get an ID because you're stupid. And that's racist. So, who the fuck is the real racist? It's absurd.
Okay. There's not really much here. Other than people are redrawing maps and coloring outside the lines again. As the federal government shutdown reaches day number 37, a couple of days ago, SNAP food stamp benefits had ran out for November. They've been slashed or delayed for 42 million recipients, with many households receiving only 50% payments or nothing despite court orders. The USDA issued partial allotments amid funding shortfalls exacerbating food insecurity. Senate talks continue, but no resolution is in sight, with FAA flight cuts adding to the chaos. Republicans again blame Democrats for blocking a clean funding bill, with Speaker Mike Johnson arguing cuts are necessary to curb waste. Trump threatened further withholdings, calling SNAP bloated and tying delays to Democratic obstruction. Democrats decry it is a humanitarian crisis caused by Trump's extremism, with AOC and Sanders highlighting impacts on 5 million people in a CNN town hall, demanding full restoration and accusing GOP of ignoring court orders for political gain.
Yep.
Hold up. Ooh, I had a South Florida local link. Fuck yeah, dude. I love South Florida news.
Claudia's calling me. What's up, Claudia? Yeah.
Alright, hold up.
Yeah.
Let me play this right here.
Now in its 34th day, today Governor DeSantis said he would not declare a state of emergency to help nearly 3 million Floridians who may be going without food stamp benefits while the shutdown continues.
I'm getting, letters from Democrats saying you should declare an emergency and create your own SNAP when they're the ones that are filibustering SNAP. I mean, are you kidding me?
Local 10 Syra Onward is live at Miami International Airport with reaction from those who desperately rely on this type of government assistance. Syra?
Nicole, so the White House announced today that SNAP recipients will receive half of their benefits for the month of November. But they're not the only ones struggling amid this shutdown. Hundreds of thousands of furloughed government workers, also essential employees like TSA agents that still have to come to the airport every day to do their job without getting paid.
I'm getting, letters from Democrats saying you should declare an emergency and create your own SNAP when they're the ones that are filibustering SNAP.
Governor Ron DeSantis responding to the suggestion the state step up to help the 3 million Floridians who rely on SNAP.
First of all, we wouldn't be able to administer something. I mean, it would take a long time.
Democrats pointing the finger at Republicans.
While you slept one night this summer, Republicans passed middle-of-the-night legislation that made the deepest cuts to Medicaid and food assistance in U.S. history.
Residents whose SNAP benefits are left in limbo speaking today alongside Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Nearly 11% of households in Wasserman Schultz's district rely on SNAP.
And now I only get $23 in SNAP help.
2 judges ruled last week the Trump administration must use emergency funds for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. Monday, President Trump announcing recipients will receive half of their benefits in November as the government shutdown enters its 5th week.
As a responsible community, we must respond.
Organizations like LifeNet for Families and its partners stepping up to provide food assistance. CEO Denise Brown announcing today their Lauderhill Food Pantry will now be open 6 days a week to help SNAP recipients and furloughed government workers.
Regrettably, the suspension of SNAP benefits will force many people to choose between paying rent for utilities or purchasing food.
Now, Chef Creole, a restaurant here at MIA, they gave away 100 meals to TSA agents earlier this morning. They're giving away 100 more right now, again, to employees who have to show up here to the airport every day, even though they aren't getting paid. Reporting live here at MIA tonight, Sarah Armour, Local 10 News.
Well, 8:05 here. Some families relying on SNAP benefits can expect to start getting their benefits in 2 days, but it will not be a full payment. People who normally get benefits on the 3rd, 5th, or 7th of the month will see some money starting on Saturday. Everyone else is expected to get their partial payments on their regular date. The payment schedule comes.
Wow. Didn't know that. Saturday. Hold on, let me get to the FAA thing here. More South Florida, yay! I really did good on these links.
Those chips in that bag are like 5 times louder than you.
Oh. Why don't you say something, bro?
Shutdown stretches on. Air travelers are now facing some unexpected changes.
And on your side, Jenna Bass, live at Tampa International Airport with the FAA's plan to cut thousands of flights starting tomorrow. What's up, Jenna?
Whoa. I got a flight on Saturday.
Not a lot right now, but tomorrow that might be a different story. So the silver lining...
Say again?
I got a flight on Saturday. What the fuck? Don't cut shit. What are you doing?
Behind that is that it's not going to affect all the airports nationwide. With that being said, it's going to affect the busiest ones, and that does include us right here at Tampa International. The Federal Aviation Administration announced that starting Friday, flights will be reduced by about 10% at 40 of the busiest U.S. markets. Officials say this step is meant to preserve safety.
Our sole role is to make sure that we keep this airspace as safe as possible.
They say the move is to preempt worsening conditions, but airlines warn the impact could ripple into delays, canceled flights, and travel headaches ahead of the holiday rush.
I am not concerned about my travel. As far as safety, I'm more concerned about cancellations when I get to my location. I can't get home.
Officials say they're concerned over staffing shortages and fatigue among air traffic controllers, many of whom have been working without pay since October 1st.
That our air traffic controllers, because of the financial pressures at home, are taking side jobs. They need to put food on the table, gas in the car, pay their bills.
Travelers we spoke to say the reduction is worth it.
So it's kind of one of these double-edged swords. It has to be done.
Despite the potential inconvenience of thousands of flights being affected.
But at the same time, it does hurt those that are traveling. I mean, short of coming to an agreement and getting our government back open again, I think the right people are in the right place to make the decisions that they have to make.
And back out here live, you can take a look at the arrivals and the departure status right now. We do know that there are a total of 503 flights in and out of Tampa International today. As of right now, good news, there are 0 cancellations, but we did see the number creep up now to 5 flight delays. And I do know that airlines are now starting to reach out to their customers, letting them know what the FAA is planning on doing tomorrow. So be sure to check your flight status, either use your app or use the website or Tampa International's website as well to check before you come to the airport. Now we're live in Tampa, Bass 8.
This one not so great. By now, you know the government shutdown is the longest in U.S. history. Here are 3 things developing tonight. The Senate has not scheduled a vote on the House-passed measure to reopen the government. Lawmakers failed to reach an agreement yesterday for the 14th time. And due to staffing shortages, the FAA will cut air traffic by 10% in 40 major markets starting this Friday. Fewer flights will reduce stress on air traffic controllers working without pay right now. Tomorrow, we should find out if the airports in our area are impacted. And finally, President Trump urged Republican senators to scrap the whole 60-vote filibuster rule to push through funding and end this shutdown. But Senate Majority Leader says votes just aren't there to change the rule. The Democrats would still need
They are going to.
And I mean,
so just fucking let's cut the fat, kill the filibuster.
Yep.
Move on with the show.
I agree.
Questions just to clarify the record, because we had a bit of Washington play acting just a moment ago.
There's too many pussy Republicans, though.
Have voted 14 times to reopen the government.
We voted 14 times to end debate so that we could actually vote to open the government, yes.
And is it accurate that Senator Rosen and virtually every other Democrat has voted 14 times to keep the government closed?
Yes, her colleague from Nevada has bravely fought Chuck Schumer and has voted to open the government. So has John Fetterman and Angus King from Maine. So I applaud 3 Democrats for actually having the decency, the humanity to be able to pay government workers, pay our military, provide Head Start, provide SNAP benefits.
And is it accurate that Democrat Senator John Fetterman has repeatedly said this is a Democrat shutdown caused by Chuck Schumer and the Democrats?
Yeah, and I find it ironic that my Democrat colleagues will go to lobbyist dinners tonight, which they get paid steak, while people in their own constituents, their own states, will not know where to get money to buy their groceries, or in the case of SNAP recipients, not be able to buy basic goods.
Is it also accurate that during the Biden presidency, 13 times Republicans worked with Democrats to pass a clean continuing resolution?
You would know better, Chairman, but I don't think there's ever been a time in U.S. history where a clean continuing resolution has been voted down by either party.
And is it accurate as well that CNN has fact-checked multiple Democrats who have insisted this is not a clean CR, and CNN, sometimes called the Clinton News Network, sometimes called the Communist News Network, has fact-checked that in fact a clean CR that your party voted against?
Yes, although I do wonder whether they've actually read the legislation, because that evidently is something that's optional. But I would assume if they have read it or took the time to read it, they'd realize it's their budget that they passed, and they're blocking this from a procedural technicality that prohibits us from actually taking a vote to reopen the government.
The record will reflect that every one of the questions we just engaged in is objectively true, and it says something that not a single Democrat is here to contest it, that their approach to this is instead to scream and yell while consistently voting to keep the government shut down and to deny pay to thousands of federal workers, including, within this committee's jurisdiction, some 50,000 TSA agents who are going to work right now. They missed their last paycheck. They're not being paid, including some 14,000 air traffic controllers who are going to work right now. They're not being paid. And the consequence, we are seeing delays at airports all across the country. We are seeing thousands of delays. We are seeing thousands of flight cancellations. We are seeing ground stops in major airports. And I would note one senior Democrat aide told Politico this shutdown will continue until planes start falling from the sky.
Well,
For a committee with jurisdiction over aviation safety, that is a horrifying statement. And yet, for our Democrat colleagues, apparently they agree with those sentiments. I have 28 letters of support from various organizations for the nominations of Mr. McCormick, Mr. Edwards, and Mr. Morse. I ask unanimous consent that these letters be inserted into the hearing record.
that's just fucking jargon. So, are you guys hungry yet? Is the food war kicking in? You know, it's getting really fucking hard to pay grocery workers. They're starting to fucking cut their hours too. That's something that doesn't get fucking mentioned in all of these news reports that I've noticed. But like Publix's, Winn-Dixie's, Walmart's and shit, the workers aren't getting fucking scheduled either because they're not making sales because food stamps don't exist. And I mean, that particularly sucks for places like Walmart, you know?
Walmart lost 3/4 of their clientele.
And the good clientele, too. Those little motherfuckers that spend. Fuck, bro.
You lose 3/4 of your clientele. and like, and all your Walmart employees shop at your store, too, so...
And they don't have money either because they're not getting hours. Yeah, true.
Because they're on welfare. Pretty soon they're not going to show up to work.
We have a welfare crisis in this country.
I keep reading a meme comment in the conversations and discourse for the shutdown where, like, when they start talking about the SNAP, it's like 43 million Americans are on SNAP, and then the meme reply that I keep seeing is that's the problem, 43 million on SNAP, which I might tend to agree with because, listen, we've been here before with this podcast where I've shown it, but those TikTok videos are fucking infuriating of Shaniqua or fucking Rita Gonzalez or fucking even Becky from fucking the trailer park with the 23,000 fucking kids having a whole fucking TikTok video about spending fucking $250,000 that they get from the government on fucking fruit roll-ups and Chef Boyardees and shit. That shit pisses you off. Like, I feel like, again, I think I said it before that the Republicans needed to win this shutdown, but Jesus fucking Christ, man. I didn't think planes were actually going to fall out the sky.
It's just a food wars, that's all it is.
Yeah, it's food wars today, plane wars tomorrow, Star Wars next week.
No, because we won't let the planes go up in the air.
Right.
We'll just shut down the airport.
Plane wars.
The flight
And then-
controllers on Yavin are going to be having a bad day, man.
So
And
one
then
thing,
NASA don't get funded, so Star Wars, like,
yeah, right. But
The Empire.
no, we have SpaceX. We have Space Force. We're still good.
okay,
Space
true.
Force.
Space Force. But basically, like you said, we've seen a lot of those TikToks and everything. I mean, there are people that do really need help, but there's a lot of issues with fiscal responsibility in this country. And that's where a lot of these issues stem from. There's a lot of people that are more in poverty or anything than they really need to be, because they quote unquote need their luxuries, like their streaming services, their
Consume,
Amazon
Morty,
Prime.
consume.
Right. There's a lot of consumers out there. So, of course, the people are going to desperately need these government
globalists.
assistance and everything and all that when people aren't even too concerned about managing their money well to begin with.
I have no statistic to back up this statement, but I bet you it's true. I'm willing to place like a $5 wager that
What's the
this is
statement?
true.
Here's a question to ask. How many people need to go to a tax person or need help from like a tax software or something to actually file their taxes every year?
Oh yeah, I used to be that stupid, and I did my own taxes.
I have never mind. I'm not getting into that. But I do go to a guy. I'll say that.
There you go.
I'm not stupid though. I promise.
It's not about being stupid. It's the matter
I
of
know
fact
your
that
deal. You go to the Cuban guy that does the Cuban things.
There's
it's
good
about
reasons.
financial.
There's
It's about
good
financial and
reasons.
fiscal knowledge. Financial and fiscal knowledge and responsibility, and that's the thing. The majority of people don't have that, and a
Use
lot of
the
people
loopholes.
don't rely. A lot of people won't rely on specifically
Actually,
going
no.
to someone.
Actually, no bullshit. I can say it without fucking giving away the play. Like business owners, more times than not, need a tax broker. They do. They just do.
And I'm not saying needing someone is the bad part. I'm saying the amount of people that either need a software or need someone, but think of the amount of people that rely on something more of like just a software.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
A lot of people that use a tax taxes are just not that complicated.
No, for most people, they're not.
Yeah.
For taxes weren't complicated before I was a business owner. Taxes weren't complicated
But is it more complicated than getting a driver's license?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Driver's license.
Well, yes, because
You
to
know,
get your driver's license, you literally only have to do like a little driving in a parking lot.
And pass the questionnaire.
Yep.
That you should be able to
And
pass.
show proof of age.
Yeah, and
where
show
you
proper
live.
documentation and shit like that. Yeah.
And if you're in the military, apparently that gets put on the driver's license.
Oh, right. And if you're in like a dense city or something, you have to wait for like 5 hours at the DMV just for them to, dick you around.
Oh, bro, here it's insane. To make an appointment at the DMV is a 4-month wait.
That's not true, bro. You just go to DMV in the wrong areas, bro. Go to the fucking ghetto in Broward and walk in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you go to the
If you're a
dense
Dade,
cities,
if you're a Dade
like,
resident, you can't go to a
Veterans now,
Broward
they
DMV.
have
Oh, yeah,
on
you're
the driver's
fucked.
license that they're veterans. So I got disconnected, but anyways.
No. They can hear you.
So if you're a veteran now, it says it on your driver's license. So
Right.
why the fuck can it say that you're a citizen on your driver's license? It could say you're a veteran. Why can't it say you're a citizen?
What?
You
But-
get my drift?
Yeah. But going back to what your point about like
I'm rehashing the same thing, but
going back to your point about like what the fiscal irresponsibility in the statement that I was about to say, that I bet you is true, but I have no statistics to prove this. The most iPhone owners are on food stamps.
yeah. Right.
yes, they are.
Can't afford food, but they can afford an iPhone. Yep, that sounds about right. I can't hear anybody, but
And everybody tries to make the
'cause you
argument
left-
that
yeah, no, it's dead. It's dead.
everyone tries to make the argument that it's an absolute necessity to have a cell phone. I'll argue, yes, to a degree, it is a necessity this day and age to have a cell phone, but it's not a necessity to have an iPhone.
Yeah, but also iPhones. Like when if we're talking about the pores here, like iPhones can be easily obtained. Like TracFone sells iPhones. They're not very expensive. Like they're not the latest model, but yeah, like it's not
Well,
like
here's the problem: the people we're talking about usually have like more of the latest models.
yeah, because they're also usually selling drugs.
Right, but they're on
Like
benefits and everything, and
yeah,
that's part of the
yeah.
problem.
Of course, but that's the thing. Like
Well, not all of them are
know,
selling drugs. A lot of them just are bad with their money. But that's part of what I was saying. But yeah, you're right. They do have lower models and everything that like TracFone and everything
yeah.
has.
Like
I
I don't know, man.
Having a cell phone is a necessity. Having the most expensive cell phone on the market is not.
No, I had an S24 Ultra last time around, and like I lost it recently. I didn't even bother to go back to get another one. I had AT&T, good AT&T service with that. So I just went and got I'm on a track phone now. It works great. It's the only way I get service in my neighborhood for some reason. I can use my phone in my house now.
They also on the other thing though to kind of like be fair to the other side of the conversation of that. I don't want to speak so much on food stamps because I have such a right wing view on food stamps with what I've seen on TikTok. But healthcare is an issue. Like,
I can give you a more like centered view of food stamps. Because there are, I know families that desperately need it. And there are plenty of families out there that do need the assistance because they are lacking in the actual financials, even with properly managing their money the best they can when they have children and stuff like that, and they take care of their children directly, and they don't, have anyone else to rely on type of thing. But they also don't do really extravagant things like a lot of these people we see on TikTok and everything. And that's that's the biggest problem, is the people have made it such a skewed view by putting all these videos out there. And I know a couple of them out there are fake, but I know a large portion of them aren't, because I've met so many people that are exactly like that.
I know people. I know people like that. I know two kinds of food stamp owners. I know those kind of people, and I know people that really need them. Like that are pretty responsible and don't get enough. That, like, before I leave to get into healthcare on the food stamp thing, the 43 million meme and that being too much, it should be half. And the one thing that I'm glad Trump did, that the Democrats are fighting tooth and nail to undo, which is why I'm rooting for the Republicans on the shutdown. The number one thing that they did that literally disqualifies a good chunk of the problem, disqualifies them, fucking forget kicking them off, they can't qualify, was the work requirement. The actual, if you're an able fucking body above the age of 24 and you're not in school, your ass needs to be in a job, or you don't get shit.
Yep.
And that fucks like 30 to 40% of the food stamp owners right there. And that helps them.
Another type of proposed solution that I've heard from people, or I haven't heard directly from people, but I thought of, and I guess kind of talked of from people, but most people were talking about giving Nutriloafer stuff. Why not, instead of food stamps being a program you give money to people, why not they are provided ready to eat meals? And the people to provide jobs, you have the people that need the food stamps actually working to make those meals.
Well, you almost described, you basically described Meals on Wheels, but that also, you're kind of describing communism, but there was a system. There was a system before. There was a system before what do you call it, before putting money on a card. I think we only put money on a card because that's, digital. But there was just food stamps, where there were stamps.
Literal stamps. I remember
Stamps that said milk, and then you had to go and trade that for milk.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
That would also solve the problem.
But the reason they don't do that no more is
Because the brothers
because
started selling it. And fucking
Yeah.
other shit.
Yeah, of course.
one, the fraud, two, transaction time. The fraud was like the number one problem. Like the people were going to the ghetto and just selling the stamps. But
Honestly,
that doesn't get fixed with the card
communism
either.
For this specific case, might just be the best.
That doesn't
they're
fix
still selling EBT cards, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That doesn't get fixed with the card either, because what it is now is they go down to the hood with the card, they sell the card for half of what it's worth in cash, and then they report the card stolen in a week.
Right,
when
and
it's
that's why
over.
I'm saying in this case, a communist approach might just be the best case scenario for it.
We'll send them on New York.
It could be, but the democratic, without going communist, would be to place a requirement on the qualifications, which is what the Republicans did with the BBB.
Yeah, they placed more requirements. They already had some requirements, but they placed more requirements, like the actual work requirement, which is a good move.
It's a huge move, because I'm gonna flat out tell you that upped everybody's food stamps that qualified. Everybody went from they saw significant increases. I'm not talking like 40-50%. I'm talking like in the ranges of 60 and 75% increases.
Right.
Because that simple requirement disqualified half of the hood, basically. And I'm sorry that I have to say it like that, but it's half of the hood. And it's the immigrants that don't have documentation to even be on there.
Yep.
And these are major issues. These are when 43 Americans are on a food stamp thing, or 43 million Americans are on a food stamp thing.
It's not really an issue that they have like full data about, because of the fact that it's undocumented immigrants that are taking advantage of it.
True, so it could be, you're right, it could be an even bigger number than that. It could be like in the 60s.
Right, but how a part of it is done is they will have like an actual legal family member that has applied to the benefits, whatever, but nobody else is checked that is using the benefits as well. But when you get SNAP and everything, it'll go by the whole household.
It goes by how many people are in the household. However, you have to list those people.
Right.
So you can't just be like, I'm a mother of 8. Like, you have to. There has to be documentation on the 8. At least in Florida. I can't speak about everybody else. But in Florida, there has to be documentation on the 8.
But the documentation is loose in some places, I believe, because from what I've been
they're getting stricter. They're getting stricter. In the last 2 or 3 years, they're actually verifying. In the last 2 or 3 years, they're auditing. They've audited parents to make sure to get the verifications for the kid that they're claiming.
And vice versa, because they could claim it, and then the parents could take advantage, type of thing. If they're legal.
It depends on the age of the kid,
Right.
But like they've audited parents their whole tax return to make sure that they get that they verify the kid, because a lot of people never verified the kid to even get on the fucking program. They just put their name and their age and their school, which is like the bare minimum, but they never asked for any documentation, Social Security, blah 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 blah.
If I send you a video before.
That starts turning around, and that'll
if
I send it to you off of X.
But there are other things like they can change or
to my Facebook or to my X account. Pops is gonna bring up a link.
Okay.
Shit, I can only send it to you through Messenger.
Okay, send it to Messenger. That works. It's like preferable.
No. I'm talking about this Messenger. Text message.
Oh.
No.
Yeah, I guess I can flip it from my phone. Where's my phone? Oh, okay.
This is actually the reason why we're having a problem with our fucking healthcare.
Well, yeah, that's the other facet of this. Like, food stamps is like the big exploit because everybody's pissed off about it because of the polarization of it, and it's a big issue. Like, you can't feed your family, but the healthcare aspect of it is a whole other issue. Hold on a minute, let me copy this. And I have like a big opinion on that. Hold on. Let me pull this up for Pops real quick before I get into it. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Let me share screen. X. Alright, what are we doing?
Family premium by $2,500. We will.
Alright, hold on.
It's time to bring down the typical family premium by $2,500. We will lower your premiums by $2,500 per family per year.
We're going to work with your employer through a catastrophic reinsurance plan to lower premiums by about $2,500 per family per year. We estimate we can cut the average family's premium by about $2,500 per year.
Big new study about healthcare costs. What's going on? What's the change?
Well, if you have paid for healthcare, have used healthcare, you probably noticed this over the past few years. But the average cost for a family health insurance plan is now $15,700.
Wow.
A year. Even an individual plan, $5,600.
Obamacare is officially the Affordable Care Act, but how affordable are the premiums?
Well, it's called the Affordable Care Act, but for some Americans, it's anything but. Many are seeing their premiums skyrocket more than double, near triple.
My current premium is about $240 a month, and after the first of the year, it will go to $630 a month.
Our premiums were supposed to be going down. Well, that is precisely the opposite of what is really happening.
Cavallaro's insurance company sent her this withdrawal notice, reading, because of the requirements of the new laws, we can no longer offer your current individual health benefit plan. Their most similar new plan will cost her 65% more.
Janet, thousands of these letters went out to people who signed up for insurance last year under the Affordable Care Act. Some people learned their premiums could go up starting in January as high as 26%.
Specific states with exorbitant increases. Delaware had a 100% increase. Florida had a 37% increase. Pennsylvania, 28% increase. California had a 53% increase in their premiums.
And then to make matters worse, hundreds of thousands of people across the U.S. will lose health care insurance by year's end.
Well, get ready for some sticker shock if you're looking into the price of Obamacare plans. The average premiums are expected to rise by 25% next year.
Insurance premiums on Obamacare exchanges will rise an average of 25% on the federal exchange next year, a steep jump from years past.
And we've been saying that the average will be 25%, but there are some states where it's going to be a whole lot higher, right?
Right. So if you look at Arizona, that's 116%. Minnesota is above 50%. Open enrollment begins for the government-run healthcare program, often referred to as Obamacare, and you should really expect to pay a lot more for your premiums.
According to numbers, a government report released just yesterday, an average nationwide increase of 22% is expected for the Silver Plan.
Family premiums have now risen by a whopping 47% over the course of the last 10 years, which depressingly has outpaced wage growth, which has grown about 31%. And then in that span, general levels of inflation overall up about roughly 23%. So-called deductibles are up 68% in the last decade. Now it's about $1,669 you got to cover from your own side of things. That's up from $991 over the course of the last 10 years.
More than 24 million Americans signed up for health insurance coverage this year through the ACA marketplace. But will they be able to stay on next year? Dr. John LaPook reports premiums are about to soar, and for many, that could make insurance under the Affordable Care Act unaffordable.
Affordable. It's affordable. There's a reason. Affordable. 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 The reason they changed the name of it is because they want to get away, their opponents, from the word affordable.
Probably because that word's a lie. But that nails where I'm going. So, in America, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm willing to be corrected, but this is my life experience that I'm talking about here. In America, you have three options for healthcare. You either game the system somehow to get Medicaid, which, I mean, you're not going to get the best doctors. It is free, other than like co-pays and some shit. Doesn't cover everything. Definitely doesn't cover a lot of medicines. You can do that. You can get ACA, Obamacare, health insurance, which is somehow worse for more money. Like, you get even worse doctors with even worse availabilities, and then the insurance costs more money and covers so much less than Medicaid. if you can believe that, which I can't. Doesn't make any sense to me. Or you can just not have insurance and pray to God that you don't break your arm, and then
If you do, you go to
pay $400 fucking dollars on your fucking tax return at the end of the year. So you're basically paying health insurance anyway. That's your 3 options, unless I'm fucking missing something, for health insurance in America currently. None of these things are good. Or, you know what? Let me not bullshit. There's a 4th option, private health insurance. Getting them from your job, or buying and paying fucking an exorbitant amount of premiums for a really good health insurance in the private sector. There's that route. There's that route too. So there is a 4th option, so that I don't lie. But realistically, to most Americans, there's 3. It's really hard not to pick game the system when game the system is the best fucking option. So it's really hard to get mad at people for gaming the system when that's the best option. That needs to change. If we want to have motherfuckers stop gaming the system, we need to make that not be such a good option. Because that's like that's the best option on the table. It's that, or get a really good job. And let's be honest, not realistic for most people. Those jobs are premiums. They're limited. They're always oversaturated.
Because the amount of money that the employer has to pay to give health care is outrageous.
No, and I looked into. You're not even lying, because I looked into this.
I know I'm not lying. I've looked into it too.
When me and Josh were setting up the idea and the company plan for our bar, I wanted to give all of our employees health care.
Yeah, like I did too.
Because that's like, in my brain, what a good boss does.
Yeah.
And I've never heard of a bar doing that. So I thought, I'll be special and people will want to work with me if I'm giving fucking insurance.
It's outrageous.
Well, I found out
Yeah.
there's a reason no other bars do this.
Like I did,
Because
listen,
you have to make like $2 fucking million in sales to even cover that.
Hey, you don't think that I looked into that because I have my family working for me? I looked into that. The rates are so fucking outrageous, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
We had to amend, be like, okay, upper management, because that's all we would be able to afford is like me, Josh, and No Pants. Like
it's that outrageous. It really is. That's why a lot of places don't offer health insurance.
And the ones that do those jobs are very
the ones that do are
tough
like
to get.
Okay, the ones that do are like hospital jobs because there's like an abundance of people and they get much better rates through PPOs and shit.
Yeah.
That's the only way. Those are the only people that can afford it. Like hospitals or fucking, shit like that. Because they get breaks from having so many people on it. But if you're just like a 16-man operation, you're fucked. You ain't gonna be able to fucking.
And that's the big issue. There's no middle part to that, right? And the ACA was supposed to be the answer to this. This was supposed to be the chain.
Yeah.
The chain link, the middle part, where basically most of the country is going to sit. An affordable healthcare choice that doesn't come from the government, that you do have to pay for, but that covers your basic healthcare needs.
The problem with the ACA is they want to make everybody mandatorily have insurance. But what they're doing is they're fucking the young people.
No, not even that they want to make
it.
They want to make it mandatory, and they want to charge insane for it.
Right, but they're making the young people that barely need health insurance, like they need health insurance, but the rates for them are like very little.
They're not paying into the system as much.
Right, and the old people that really need the health care, they're fucking getting it a little bit less because the young people that don't need it are fucking actually paying for the old people. So it's just not a good
The
system.
ACA was supposed to be an affordable option for most of the citizenry, and it's not. It was a lie, and as you've seen from that video, it's been a lie from
Been a lie from the get-go.
from the jump.
You can keep your doctors, bro. Though
The Republicans are right to want to change that because that is a gateway to all the other issues when it comes to gaming the fucking Medicaid system. Like, if you solve ACA, you solve a good portion of that problem. But no one ever wants to solve ACA because I think it's just a pissing contest that nobody wants to lose. I think everybody knows the ACA has failed, but no one wants to admit that.
And supposedly they're holding the government hostage now because the subsidies of the ACA are going up, but who's going to pay for it? Oh, you got to give us money for the ACA subsidies. No. The answer is to come up with a fucking good bipartisan healthcare solution and not fight about it. But they want to fucking both sides wants to
because whatever solution that they come of it, both sides are gonna want. One side's gonna want, well, I don't want these people on it, and the other side's gonna want, well, we do want these people on it, and we're never going to go anywhere until we fix that one core issue. And I think that core issue is gonna get resolved in the next decade, but
it's got to get resolved soon because they're right. The fucking subsidies they're going up.
how long do you guys think the shutdown's gonna go for?
I'm surprised.
Here's my, you know what? Here was my theory.
21 more days.
Here was my theory, and I'm still hoping that it's still the winning theory at the end. But like, they got Mamdani in, they got their blue wins in Jersey and Virginia, and now all of a sudden the exact amount of Democrats are all of a sudden talking to the Republicans about ending the shutdown. The exact number of Democrats that they need to end the shutdown. I feel like I'm hoping that they just did this to get fucking Mamdani elected. And now Mamdani's elected and we can go back to normal. Somewhat. I'm sorry, New York, you're not a part of the plan for normalcy. But the rest of the country. I don't know. I don't know how much of that is far-fetched or hopeful, but like, Pop says 21 days. I'm hoping before the end of the week. We're already at the end of the week, so that's
well.
probably...
If they wait 21 days, they're stupid. Because what happens in 21 days? All those cuts from the government will become permanent.
That means this clean CR becomes irrelevant.
Well, the CR is already kind of irrelevant because it's only going to fund it like 3 more weeks. So you're looking at, there's going to be another CR after that fucking 3 weeks. We're already going into the end of that, what the CR was supposed to cover in about 3 weeks.
That's true.
So we're going into another CR. That's why I think it's probably going to last 3 more weeks.
Jesus.
Because nobody's caving.
Well, besides that, there's no point. Because
it's a clean CR.
Yeah, but it's an irrelevant clean CR.
Yeah, it kind of is at this point.
So they're gonna drag it out to get another CR bill. Fuck me.
They really didn't think this one through. Do you need to go outside?
Go for it, Brandon.
Address that other element.
Which one?
Oh, you know, the one that wears the little hat.
Here we go.
I don't know if that's an elephant. I think he's like a tentacle thing.
Something like it's like an octopus.
Yeah, something like a squid.
So
what are you?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a quantum computer over there.
Me?
No. He has tentacles, dude. I don't know no quantum computers that have tentacles, man.
I have tentacles. I'm a shadowed whore from the depths of the dark wood.
I wasn't talking about that kind of little hat.
What little hat? My hat?
No, you know a little hat.
You see? If anybody gets me, Alex Jones gets me.
Alex Jones knows all about the little hat.
I'm lost. Oh, okay. This is a Jew thing.
No. It's not, hey, let's not call it that.
Can't.
Let's not call it that. Let's just call it our little problem. Now.
Oh fuck me! You waited till Eric was good and asleep before you did this.
Our little problem. It's starting to make it well known it's a problem now. With the killing of Charlie Kirk.
You're about to go fucking.
God bless his soul. God rest
on
him.
us.
I was always a Charlie Kirk fan. I knew he was onto something. And they did.
This is gonna be some Candace Owens ass shit.
What the fuck? This game's over already at 11?
Dude, it was the Raiders. Get over it.
Final score 7-10.
Yeah, that sounds like a Raider game, bro. Like, what are you kidding?
Crazy.
Did the
Broncos
Raiders
won?
win?
No, Broncos won, dude.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say what?
Ain't no way. And the Broncos are a defensive team. That game was destined to be missed.
Well, every time I hear the Broncos talked about, I always think of that episode of South Park when they all went to church, and Priest just starts chanting, "Let's go."
Damn, that worked out for
Broncos. Anyway, okay, listen. Go back to your Candace Owens rant so we can get to the next topic.
No, let's go to the next topic. I'm
Okay.
for a second.
All right.
I don't want to get canceled yet.
I have some good news to report. Well, it's
we're starting with the showers.
It's sweet and sour news.
So we're starting with the showers. But we're going to do like 435,000.
It's sweet and sour, but it does not.
Okay, go on.
Hold on, I don't know if she's Jewish or not.
Who?
Never mind.
Who?
Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
He's not one of chosen people.
Okay. Announced she will not seek re-election in 2026 after nearly 4 decades in Congress. Citing a desire to pass the torch while remaining active in Democratic causes.
How do you stay in Congress for 40 years?
Because these bitches need term limits and don't have them.
We need to end that. We need to put a stop to that.
The California Democrat, the first woman speaker, reflected on her legacy in a video statement amid a wave of Democratic victories. Don't worry, I have the video. It's sappy as shit. We'll get into it. Conservatives like Trump called her retirement a great thing for America, labeling her evil, corrupt,
evil.
While Speaker Johnson warned of radicals rising on the left in her wake, framing it as an opportunity to curb Democratic influence. Democrats mourn the loss of a Mount Rushmore figure, with Newsom Would Newsom paying tribute to her as a trailblazer? AOC and Hoyer praised her mentorship and emphasizing her role in historic wins like Obamacare and Jan 6 accountability.
Oh,
so
Wait, where was any accountability in January 6th?
They went to jail for like 3-4 years.
Oh, you mean those little guys?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
QAnon shaman and shit.
Yeah.
I have to cut it. I have to leave here. So I have to get going. You guys have a great rest of the episode.
Yes, sir.
What's the problem with this feedback I hear?
It's because Pops's
My phone died.
phone died, so I'm on speaker.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Chaps and chapettes, the show is still ongoing over at the U-Poll. I will be putting it at the hopefully it works properly, but I will be having it show at the end here, the ticker. I hope you all take care and have a great rest of whatever time it is for you. I do not have the music up this time, but, you know, it is what it is. It is time to say goodbye. Go see the rest of the show at unsolicitedpods.com.